Guys, I want to talk to you about workshop air filtration systems. For many of us, woodworkers, do-it-yourselfers, contractors, hobbyists, anyone who's got a small shop, buying a dust collector or air filter dust filtration system falls pretty low on our must-have list of tool priorities, especially if you're focusing on purchasing tools to fill your shop. On my website, concordcarpenter.com, I've written on the importance of workshop dust control strategies. There's a whole slew of articles on them. Wood dust becomes a potential health problem when wood particulates from sanding and cutting become airborne and we ingest them. The purpose of an air filter is to capture and reduce that airborne dust as quickly as possible. My situation where I'm highly sensitive to cedar dust. It irritates my sinuses, it gets into my lungs, it wreaks absolute havoc on my respiratory system for days. Well, the other day I was cutting a whole bunch of this stuff and I noticed how very little I had in the shop airborne on tool tabletops. And the main reason for that is that I use a dust collection system at the source, but also an air filter. The health effects of long-term wood exposure dust is the primary reason why you would want to control dust. Wood dust can cause allergic reactions, other health issues, eyes, skin irritations, respiratory effects. It can cause nasal cancer, and worse, not worse than that, but even increased sensitivity to wood dust like I have with cedar. So I started thinking about this for my shop, and a while back I purchased a Delta filtration system. You can get any system. And I basically wanted to catch those dust particulates. I placed it on the long side wall of my shop, about a third of the way down from the short wall. And a good rule of thumb is when you're placing these is you want them about 7 to 10 feet off the floor, mounted on your longest wall of the shop, so that that intake is about a third off the short wall, third of the distance. Best practices tell us to mount it no further than 4 to 6 inches off the wall. But look, that's not always possible. In fact, mine's like 3 or 4 feet off the wall because I couldn't get it there. The exhaust is the strongest or the largest determiner of circulation pattern. You want that circular circulation pattern. So by mounting the unit in a suggested location, you're trying to basically encourage circulation parallel to the floor and ceiling. Probably the two most important criteria to think about if you're going to be doing this for an air cleaner is CFMs and filters. You want a CFM that's going to, a CFM factor that will clean the size of your shop, and a filter basically that removes the particulate sizes of dust that you're concerned about. It's typically 1 micron. This dust collector filtration that I have has a 3-pocket inner filter. There's a heavy pleated outer filter and also an electronic or electrostatic pre-filter. And that works together in unison to trap dust particles larger than 1 micron. So to determine the size or required airflow, use this formula. The volume of your shop, which is basically the length times width times height. That's the volume of your shop. Times the number of air exchanges per hour, typically 6 to 8, divided by 60. This will give you the answer in cubic feet per minute, and it's basically how air cleaners are measured anyway. The way I use my air cleaner, I turn it on and I just leave it on when I'm in the shop, especially sanding and cutting. Just let it go. Music's louder than that. It doesn't bother me. And then when I leave, sometimes I utilize there's up to a 4-hour timer, and I leave it on after I'm done. I just walk away leaving it on, and I use the timer to filter the shop or continue cleaning the air in the shop, circulating and cleaning that air. And that allows me to have a cleaner shop. It allows from dust migrating into the rest of the house, and the results are immediately noticeable. The air is cleaner. There is little to no residual dust on the tabletops, and that's huge. And look, I've got about a 15 by 28 shop, and I went with, I forget what horsepower, it might be a 1 horse. My filter can filter my shop 13 to 18 times, somewhere around there. For health reasons, you really need to consider installing a dust filtration system in your shop. Make your lungs a priority. And guys, look, leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you guys do about your shop airborne dust and how you address it. Some guys use fans, some guys wear dust masks. I hope you enjoyed this tip. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Take care.